Hello, everyone.
Hello.
3, 2, 1.
We are
A-MUSE. And welcome to A-MUSE Academy, where you're going to get schooled on all the things that bring us together.
Yeah.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Right. Now, this is the very first episode, the very first of A-MUSE Academy. Damn.
We did it.
Yeah, I guess before we crack into it, let's get some little self-introductions going, because some of you may or may not know us. We are A-MUSE, an idol group that has been operating since 2014, and we do live shows in Brisbane as well as stream them on Twitch. And we have 6 members who are all right here, and we are going to introduce ourselves to you today. So let's start down this end with Miss Pengi.
Hello everyone, my name is Pengi. I am the pink member of A-MUSE. I am also our graphic designer. I really like penguins, art, Sanrio, cute things, and Lolita fashion. It's really nice to meet you.
Hello everybody, my name is Kate. I'm the blue member of A-MUSE. I really like the colour blue, the ocean, lemons, video games, and singing. Nice to meet you.
Hello everyone, I'm Lolly and I'm the purple member of A-MUSE. I am the leader of the group and I love rabbits and the Sanrio character cinnamon roll. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Rinya. I'm the monochrome member of A-MUSE and the dance captain as well. I really like wearing hats, I like playing Sudoku, I like eating coleslaw, and contrary to popular belief, I actually am more of a dog person than a cat person. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hi everyone, I'm Aleks. I have to speak really loud because I naturally speak really soft, haha. Anyways, I am the yellow member of A-MUSE. I really love Jujutsu Kaisen, specifically Nanami Kento. I really love Genshin Impact, and I love Pom Pom Purin. And he's here, he's cute. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.
G'day everyone, my name is Luvkii. I'm a Capricorn, I love women, and I love to walk on the beach. I have a good...
Tinder,
Tinder
bio.
Yeah.
Profile.
Let's all have a good one, hey?
Yeah.
I like how it was going like pretty
Smooth.
And then
It's
I
like-
went,
it's like- It's like A-MUSE to
Yep.
swear.
Yeah.
It is an A-MUSE tradition if we don't fuck something up. Speaking of which, do you want to talk about how we got here?
So basically we have kind of ended up in this location on the fly because we had a space that we were going to be recording the podcast in, but there was a big misunderstanding.
It sure was.
To put it lightly, you know, it won't go into details or anything, but we wasted maybe about 2 hours of our time, and now we're here. We've got this lovely garden behind us. We're surrounded by
Friends.
Hopefully
Friends.
But that's fine. It's
Country
not
girls make
A-MUSE.
do.
Country girls sure do make do.
Country girls make do. And we're here, and we're gonna do the podcast. So
Yeah, we are.
speaking,
and we owe a massive thank you to Luvkii's parents for letting
yes.
us take over
Yeah.
their living room.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
and Mrs.
Luvkii.
Luvkii.
Okay,
Damn.
okay.
yeah. So I guess to kind of start off, A-MUSE Academy. When are we
Yeah.
going to be releasing it? What does it entail? So as for the release schedule, at the moment we're planning to release it once a month. It may change in the future, but that's currently the plan. So when you are seeing this, it will be September, and then the next episode will be released in October, and so on and so forth. And so the
Until
general
we die.
until we die.
Yep.
Don't forget you're here
Here
forever.
forever.
And the general, I guess, in terms of what we're going to cover on this podcast, you're going to get to know a little bit more about us, about the creative process behind A-MUSE, some fun history things, and, you know, maybe we'll also just talk about, like, things about idols here and there, our
Maybe.
personal interests.
We'll consider it. What better environment than to do it in kind of like a school setting, like an education setting. Hence why we are wearing
Uniforms.
Oh.
We are schooling you.
We are schooling you, and perhaps we may be schooled ourselves
Perhaps.
I feel like we're going to be learning a lot more
about each
about
other.
Yeah.
More than we want
Which
to.
is hard to say considering we spend so long spending every
waking,
waking moment with
moments.
each other, but I'm sure we will learn more about each other through this process.
Live up each other's butts.
And hopefully you learn about us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of discussion topics every episode and a couple of games and activities as well.
How
Yes.
exciting. How exciting. Yeah.
Whoa.
So I guess to move on to our first discussion topic, yeah, I'm like moving it along because Amy's chronically cannot shut the fuck up.
We have to like we're having to like time ourselves,
Yeah.
making sure we're like
Amy's shut the fuck up challenge.
So this is like a prime example of it because I'm going to keep talking.
Lolly, shut up.
But last month before, we did an interview that was supposed to take an hour and we took 2.5 hours. So we're gonna try and move things along today. So our camera died, so we had to stop for a minute there. As you can see, we're just going through it today.
Yep.
But that's okay. We're gonna move on to our first discussion topic, which is how did A-MUSE Academy come to be, and why did we decide to do a podcast?
Well, I think the beginning of it was just, we looked at each other and we were like, hey, let's do a school uniform. And that was it.
Was it
So-
that easy?
I'm pretty sure it was.
And now we're
A-MUSE
back to
Academy.
school.
Well, I think there was wanting to do a variety show to branch out in the different ways we can.
That's rough, buddy.
We thought about doing a variety show as a different way of branching out to our audience and trying different types of media to get you guys excited in the kind of projects that we do. So having a variety show and a podcast just kind of meets together perfectly because we each have different interests and we bring different things to the group, and it's a great way of exploring that with you guys.
Yeah. I don't think we get to show our individual charms as members, if you will.
I feel like should we?
Should you?
It's not something we get to do very often, so we thought it would be nice for you guys to get to know us as much as we know each other, which is too much.
We live in each other's bums.
And you can join A-MUSE Academy.
Whoa.
Come to school with us.
You, the viewer / listener, are now a student.
Yay, congratulations. Happy first day of school.
It's the first day.
Alright.
Yeah, I guess why the school theme?
For fun.
You know,
You got anything else?
schools, it's always like, it's a very good kind of structure to play off because we all have different favorite subjects among all of us, I
Different
think.
strengths. as
Different
well.
strengths, different kind of thing. We all had a different favorite subject at school, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, we decided, that would be a perfect kind of setting to commandeer.
learn.
Yeah,
To learn
commandeer
about
this
each
podcast and learn about each other.
Oh.
And we have the uniforms.
And we have
Yeah.
the uniforms, yeah.
Plus, we've always wanted to do like some kind of uniform costume, but
Yeah.
it took us a little while to decide like what kind of uniforms we wanted to do and what direction that we wanted to go in. Because I think there was like a lot of different sort of inspirations that we were looking at.
I remember Rinya coming to the table being like, I like... What was it? What was it that you like?
It was school whack.
That's
wasn't it?
right.
It was
school
school
whack.
whack.
Yeah.
Dog and Zaka 43 or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they riffed on.
Yeah, one day Rinya came to the table being like, this is fun. I like school.
I want school.
And we also really enjoy Kayaki's style. May they rest in peace.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I think that the school theme, again, is just a really good way for us to, I guess, structure the episodes as well. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about our specific interests. We can, have a music class, have a dance class, have a math class, things like that.
Music class, but copyrighted.
Yeah. One day we're going to run out of classes, and once we do that, I don't know what we're going to do.
We'll
We
graduate!
graduate!
We'll all
Hey.
graduate.
And then
A-MUSE.
that's the end of A-MUSE. Not just Academy, A-MUSE as well.
I just have to laugh because like Australia is very like kind of like a very like public school like bogan kind of thing. I went to a public school, so like wearing like this kind of Catholic style like.
Catholic
I
Presbyterian
feel like I'm
private
a
school.
fancy school.
I went
I feel
to a
Jesus
private
in this room. Right
I
now.
went to a private school, and this is very
Reminiscent.
yes.
I can't relate.
You and I are probably... Are you and I the only two that have been to public schools?
Probably.
I mean, primary school. If you don't count primary
If
school.
you don't count primary
I
school.
went to a public school for 1 year in year 4. Does that count?
Aw.
how awful was it?
Oh.
It was fun.
Rinya and I actually went to middle school and high school together. We met when we were in year 8.
Year 8, January 2011.
Yeah, so getting in these uniforms and being zipped up all the way at the back and sitting at a desk is very...
Having the skirt length come down to your ankles because they're like, how dare
Dare you
girls
show
have
your
knees?
knees.
How dare they have ankles?
I
So-
remember when we met, you were drawing on your book, and
Was
you
I?
already have drawings on your
Well,
book.
yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
like,
we've all got drawings on our books.
I looked at the sketchbook and I was immediately like, it's mine now. Mine.
Yeah, Rinya was the first to be like, can I draw on it? And then everyone just followed
Mine's
suit.
absolutely cooked.
I think, am I the only person who did private school all the way from prep to 12?
I think
You
so,
must have,
but
yeah.
I moved here from overseas and couldn't get into a private school straight
You're
away.
the foreign exchange
I'm the
student.
foreign exchange
You're the
student.
wacky US exchange student. You're the Marty.
Yeah. I had to wear a uniform like this from like the age of 4.
Oh, good.
My school was really strict. So
See, for a couple of years, I went to the same school as Miss Rinya and Miss Luvkii. I didn't know them at the time. But yeah, I remember because I was always really tall and they had the long skirt rules. I remember one lunchtime they came around with a ruler and they were like, oh, your skirt isn't long enough. And I was like,
Yeah, our school
Yeah.
used to make us
Kneel on the
kneel on the
ground.
floor, and if our hems didn't touch the ground,
get a
we would get a
detention.
detention.
and I was sort of like, what do you want me to do? I
I'm
can't change
long.
my height.
What?
And I think they were like, buy another uniform. I was like, my family is broke. I cannot. What do you want me to do?
I'm just sitting here like my school, like all my like public schools I went to tried to be like a private school in the way they tried to act like they were like kind of like, oh my god, that's so cool. But like if you wore the wrong socks, you get detention. But like I never went.
Back in the day, like wearing your skirt on your hips was the trendy and cool thing to do.
yeah.
And they were like, you cannot wear your skirt on your hips. It's not allowed. And at our school, the teachers had to wear uniforms as well. And they were like, if you see,
Oh.
the teachers had
Jeez.
uniforms. And they were like,
Oh.
if, like, would you see a teacher wearing their skirt on their hips? And it was like, yeah, you do every day. Like,
They are adults.
yeah, and it was like, if the day you see a teacher wearing their skirt on their hips, you can do the same. And it was like,
But
Today is that day.
open your eyes.
My high school, the trend was because there was the hem rule. People actually used to walk around with their skirt like hiked up like this. It was just like the funny thing because you see people like walking around the shops like that, like with their uniforms hiked up. Like it was too funny.
I love hearing about this.
really?
I'm hoping this is enlightening for any international listeners
Yeah.
or viewers that are tuning in.
You don't have
And,
uniforms.
how kind of whack that the Australian education system is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
I think at one point our principal cared more about
I was
uniform.
gonna say like Australia would be like education, uniforms. Oh my god.
Very.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
fucking
cannot
God.
learn if your skirt does not touch the floor.
If you
It's
wear
not
Legally
allowed.
catch you out in public after school hours.
Yes!
And an anonymous person
Yeah.
will call the
Yeah,
school and
yeah.
dibber-dob on
If
you.
you are not wearing your school hat in public, someone will call
You
the
are
school.
representing the
You are-
school.
someone, I will get a phone call, and I will find you and track you down. And the
Okay.
funny thing is, as a kid, I was legitimately like, they're gonna know. I remember one time I had to take the bus in. My babysitter was driving me into school, and I was wearing the sports uniform, and you were not allowed to be seen out in public in the sports uniform. And her car broke down,
Oh.
and we had to get on the bus. And I was like, I can't take the bus. And my babysitter was like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, I can't
Get naked right now.
Yeah.
That's
And then I
why
got
we
on the
have
bus, and the whole
anxiety.
time I was like. And then nobody knew because nobody called the school because how would they go,
Nobody cares.
that's Kate, I'm going to get her. Doesn't work like that.
I actually have a story about something similar as well. That my cohort in high school was quite small, and the principal knew most of us personally,
Whoa.
like by name.
Whoa.
So there was one time that I missed the bus. I was a little bit late to school, and at my school, you had to catch the bus to the bottom. Like the school's on top of a hill, and you had to catch the bus to the bottom of the hill and walk all the way up like this huge flight of stairs to get up to the school. And when I was just on my way across the road, like about to go up the stairs, I hear somebody yell at me. And it's actually the school principal was going up the driveway in her car. She rolled down her window she was like, Jess, put your hat on, and then just kept driving. And I was like,
Nice flex.
I thought this was going to be like, and she offered me a ride.
I wish she'd offered me a ride up the hill. No, she left me to climb the thousands of stairs. But honestly, though, credit to my high school principal was an absolutely lovely woman. I really enjoyed
My
her.
second high school was actually the same though. Like we'd catch the bus to the bottom of the hill, and then I'd have to walk up this fucking like it went like.
Brisbane is a very hilly
That's
place.
why we have strong legs for
Yeah.
dancing.
Wow.
Yep.
Ugh.
Now, before we move on, I'm curious, what kind of person were you guys in school? High school specifically.
Oh.
I guess, who wants to start?
Let's start with
Yeah.
Lucy.
I was like a class clown until I got into my I'm not like other girls phase.
Then you animate.
And then I was like, I'm emo now.
I went through a lot of different phases during high school, but generally I was kind of like, not to be emo, but I was like, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was usually like, I was one of those people that like would jump between like just different groups and just kind of like chill there. And like, I would always get detention because like I hated wearing my uniform, but I just never went, and they never did anything about it. But I went through so many different phases during high school. Yeah, that was me.
All right, so I started high school in grade 8, and I joined, and I was put in the class with this lovely girl, Luvkii. So yeah, we've known each other for over 10 years now. What kind of student I was? Look, whenever I get asked questions about my identity, I'm always like, who am I?
I could tell you for you.
Yeah. So me and Luvkii, I think we were kind of like in the weeaboo anime club, kind of like loners. Like, we weren't really bullied. I mean, I wasn't, but
I think we could probably sort us both into the weird gay kids.
weird gay kids. Like, you can look at you know when you look at these kids and you're like, there's a gay
Fruits.
vibe on fruits. Yeah. But I was also kind of in with the Asians just by my natural status.
Natural status.
The natural status of being a Chinese. And yeah, I don't know. I mostly sat in the back of the class and played
Cookie
Papa's-
clicker.
Cookie clicker.
Same.
Does anyone remember like Papa's Pizza?
Yes!
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
put cool
about.
maths games.
Cool maths games.
On
And
like the
Bubble
computers
Popper
that you
and
would like
stuff.
rent from the school.
These kids
Yeah.
playing maths games.
So they call it cool maths. No, they weren't
games.
maths games. They weren't. It was like all kinds of like like Bubble Popper and things like that.
The
Like
Lava Girl
Really
and
epic
Waterboy.
gaming.
really epic
Epic gaming?
Yeah, epic
Crazy
gaming.
Taxi.
Crazy
Anyway,
Taxi.
sorry.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. School was school. Carrying on.
This is about to make us feel old.
Lolly looks like she's about to cry.
So I was when I started high school, I was a pretty good kid. Like, I got good grades. I always listened to the teacher. I always got told off for like drawing in my book. But then, not to flex or anything, but I got moved up a year, so I never did year 9. I jumped straight from year 8 to year 10. And when I did that, they gave me a laptop, and ever since then, my grades went like
The internet, baby.
because the internet, baby. And I would sleep through all my classes. I would rock up to school at like 2 p.m. and they would always get mad at me, being like, Lolly, you need to show up to school on time. And I was always like, I've got good grades. What are you going to do about it? And they would be like,
Well,
and they were kind of like, well,
Can't argue with that.
And meanwhile, you were running a successful Moshi Monsters YouTube account.
my dark.
and you were active on the Twilight Twitter.
No, that's primary school. It's different.
it's different.
I will say though, in terms of like how I generally was during high school, I remember once some kid came up to me and he was like, "Oh, you know, I don't mean this like offensively, but like, are you on drugs?" Because I think whenever I rocked up at 2 p.m, I'd always have like a stack of like some random shit, whatever I was bringing with me for the day, and I looked like I hadn't slept because I hadn't. And I was just going through it like every day. So that's what I was like as a high school student.
Please tell me you looked him dead in the eyes and just said yes, deadpan, yes,
I
and
wish.
then walked away.
I wasn't funny in high school.
You're not funny now.
I'm not funny
I'm
it's
the
okay.
resident
Funny
Amy.
looking.
I'm Amy's bully.
bullying.
It's time to stop bullying. We're in the academy situation. Now it's time to start the bullying.
Rinya is the class bully.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about me.
Okay, so I'm embarrassed to admit that I guess at base level I was that one academic kid who was really, really scared of getting in trouble. On top of this, I was a massive nerd. The cringe part is on top of that, I was really insecure within myself and was very openly like, no boy will ever love me. And so I was like, I had a solid group of friends that liked me, which was good. And I don't think I would say that to like other people outside of them, but I was very like, I'm just so unlovable. I'm going to be single forever. But I grew out of that, so it's okay. can't believe I just outed myself like that, but hey, you asked the question, so.
Look at where you are
You
now.
are also
where you
a
are
horse
now.
girl. Yeah.
I also was a horse girl.
And this doesn't come as much of a surprise, I'm sure, but you're also a drama kid.
Yes, yeah, so I guess I'm missing out that part. I say I was academic. When I was in high school, my subjects were like outside. I did Math B, I did English, and then I did music, film and television, drama, and music extension. So I was also an arts kid. A big melting pot of all sorts of shit, but mostly academic, and I was forever alone.
So I was a bit like interesting in high school, I suppose. I was definitely a scene kid. I was having that phase. I was like completely the opposite to the way I am now. I thought I was way too cool for pink and skirts and dresses and stuff. I was like full emo goth
Internalized
scene.
misogyny.
Internalized misogyny. The whole I
Shebang.
grew out of that like grade 11, grade 12. I started to realize that feminism was cool. And I did a lot of
And you're
speeches
right.
about it.
You could really see that in your bangs at the time.
Oh my gosh.
But it's really weird because I like used to be I wouldn't call myself academic. I actually didn't do an OP because I was that awful at maths that they were just like, just don't. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I did like art and IT, and I did Japanese, and I was like really kind of good at those things, but not at anything else. I did lots of extracurricular as well, but I used to fly under the radar, like massively. I used to do so much naughty shit and just get away with it. And I think I was supposed to attend maybe 3 or 4 detentions over the time that I was at school, but I used to just throw the forms in the bin. So I never went.
Same.
I never got a detention.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice that maybe you were the
I
type
never
of
got attention. What am I saying?
maybe you were the type of person that did your homework and wore your hat. And
I
did
sure
all that
was.
kind
I
of
didn't
stuff.
want to get in
I think
trouble.
Nearly all of my we used to have a thing where if you did something wrong, you would get a diary signature, and if you got 3 diary signatures in 2 weeks, you would get a detention. And nearly all of my diary signatures were for not doing my Japanese homework.
Oh.
So
And here you are.
but yeah, I played sport, I did music, I did lots of things. I also really liked Yu-Gi-Oh! And writing Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan fiction.
Yeah.
So like my cringe background is Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan fiction. Anyway, that's how I was like in school. Really weird.
Speaking of detention, I had a pretty good track record. I only ever got 1 detention in my 5 years of high school.
Same.
And it was for 3 warnings for not... This was me moving in school. We had laptops, school laptops, and we had school laptop bags that came with it. So it's illegal in the school.
It's
Illegal.
Travel between classrooms when you're not using a laptop to have it outside of the bag. So I got pulled up 3 times for carrying my laptop in my arms, and I got a detention because of that.
I remember
And that was my only detention, and I was so mad about it.
because you would like the cookie clicker. You could not turn it. You were like there.
Yeah, like between classes going.
I got detention literally every single day I went to school,
Damn.
which I'm not sure if it's a surprise or not, but
It doesn't surprise me in a weird way.
I just never went to school.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got a detention once, I think, for forgetting my hat. And I felt so like when I was in the detention room, because they make you fill out a plan of like, what did you do wrong? Why did you, like, it's like a responsible thinking plan or something. And I was filling it out being like, I don't fucking belong here. Get me out of here. Me filling it in, trying to like play fake sob stories like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for forgetting my hat. What will I do next time?
Did anybody else used to get like uniform violations? Like, what did you do to your
Every
uniform
day.
that got you in trouble?
Only
Every
the
single
hat.
day. I wore the wrong socks. And I would wear my, because at my school, our formal uniform was like long skirt and like blouse. But I hated wearing the long skirt, so I'd always wear like our skirts. So I wear skirts and you couldn't wear tights with your skirts for some reason. So I just wear skirts, tights, and my blouse. And they'd be like, actually, fuck you. And I'd be like,
I would get in trouble for like going to swim class and then putting my wet swimsuit, like leaving it on and then putting my clothes over my wet swimsuit. 'Cause it took
free!
It took so long to get into your uniform, especially in like the winter months
uniform.
with like the shirt and the tunic and the blazer and the tie and all that. So
you'd be
I would just be wet the whole time.
Queen, you were a freak.
I smelled like nickels and pennies.
Right.
I I used to I got in trouble for having I cut a hole in my jumper like for my thumb.
Classic emo.
I know,
Wow.
classic emo. I had a hole in my jumper for my
Same.
thumbs. I got in trouble for having two piercings in my ear instead of one.
Yeah.
I also got in trouble once because I dyed my hair like fire truck red.
You would get shot for that at my school. All three
It's
of those
on
things,
site.
you would get shot.
Yeah, I actually have no idea how I managed to avoid
I nearly got in
like ever
trouble
getting
Nearly.
once with a haircut because at one point when I was going through my raging feminism phase,
As we all do.
as we all do, I really wanted to cut my hair like pixie short. Like it was like boy short, like
That was cute
boy
though.
short. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I don't think I'll ever go back to it, but it was really cute. And I remember one of the Christian education teachers pulling me up like, you know, Rinya, that's not very feminine of you, you know? And I was standing there in like my oversized like dress, like school uniform dress, like with my maths books, like
We were
okay.
in like year 9 when that
Yeah.
happened. What's her damage? Also, like, I remember when you cut your hair short, it was all the talk of the grade. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then there was
You're
another
so
girl.
brave.
There was another girl who'd also cut her hair short, and she was like, that's my thing. She's taking
I'm the
that from
token
me.
lesbian.
I have short hair.
It's classic high school gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I actually had the same thing because when my hair was fire truck red, it was also like boy short, and I had a couple of girls be like, "Oh my God,
You are
She looks
so
like-
brave.
she looks like a no, she looks like a
Oh.
boy. She looks
Oh.
like a boy," and I was
Fucking
like,
hell.
"What about it?" Like,
No, all the girls in my grade were like, oh, you're so brave. You are so
I could
brave.
never, but
I could never.
good for you.
You were so brave.
You
And I
weren't
was
allowed
like,
to
okay.
dye your hair at my school, like any color, any natural color. You could not. A friend of mine used to dye her hair. She had brown hair, and over the holidays, she would dye it 2 shades darker or 2 shades lighter.
Oh.
And they would notice. They
Oh
would
my
be
gosh.
like, your hair is darker than it was before the holidays. Go home and fix it. Like, they would genuinely make her re-dye her hair so that it was her
Jeez.
natural color. And she was like, when I started at this school, it wasn't my natural hair color. It was dark. It was like,
Every time
Yeah.
you talk about your school, I'm like, damn, that's a cult.
For our school, it wasn't. People that weren't going darker with hair, but they were going darker with their skin.
Oh,
Tanning,
Oh,
yeah.
Tanning was the
Tanning
big
was
thing.
the
Yeah.
big thing.
same thing, same thing.
yeah.
There is like, I have a visceral like response. Like when I smell fake tan, I have a ratatouille moment where I get cast back and I'm at school again because like it was all the rage and girls had like
Yeah.
fake tan on their sleeves and on their like.
And when they
School
went swimming
colours.
and stuff, oh,
I mean, like, if that's your thing, good for you, but
yeah.
It was
We
a time.
we had a girl show up on the morning of like getting on the bus to go to school camp. She'd like tried to fake tan herself like the night before, and her legs just had patches
Oh,
all over them.
that's
She'd
rough,
worn
buddy.
shorts and they just had patches all over them, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
It was really
like
it was, a huge
really the
trend
thing,
in
and
2015.
also the smell. It's very like visceral. The reaction that I have, it smells like Macca's hotcakes, like specifically.
I think it smells better than that. It kind of has like a vanilla-y kind of
Yeah.
smell. I don't mind it, but I smell it and I go, oh,
That's
oh,
it.
year 11.
Yeah.
Good year.
Anyways.
anyways. So let's move on to our next little section. We're going to start off our sketchbook games.
Yay!
Yeah. Which, by the way, we mentioned it before, but thanks to Miss Rinya, we all have drawings on our sketchbooks. Would you all like to introduce your drawings real quick?
Luvkii
Yeah.
first.
Mine says Luvkii. It has the graffiti S.
Who
The end.
who did the graffiti?
Oh, Alex did the graffiti S.
I've got mine. I've got flowers. Rinya drew my name for me. I drew Pom Pom Poon on it, and I also did Aleks plus Nanami as a Nanami Kento from the hit series Jujutsu Kaisen because that man.
I hate onions.
I hate onions as well. I
Hate
forgot
them.
to say my introduction, but I hate onions. Anyways,
Here's my sketchbook. It's pretty standard. I've got some cats on there. I should probably draw a dog on there. The thing is, if this were more accurate to like circa high school Rinya, there would be like
My Little
eyes,
Pony
like,
on
My
it.
Little Pony on there for starters, as well as like anime eyes. You know, when you were like bored and you would draw. My other thing was hands as well. Anime
Really?
hands. Yeah, I really liked drawing
you were good
hands.
at it too.
And I would always friggin' get in trouble. Like, bless her soul, my maths C teacher would lean over and be like, "What is that, Rinya?"
It is a drawing of an anime eye.
You wouldn't get it.
Information.
But yeah, so this one's mine. I'm hoping to add more to it until it gets really full
over the series.
over the series.
Mine is quite simple. I was going to start drawing more stuff on it. It's just my signature. It's the little swoopy thing. If you get any A-MUSE mail, you probably see that I always do the little swoopy thing because I think it's fun. And I've got some little sparkles, and like, I wanted to draw my latest hyperfixations on here, but I always know that they change like every 2 seconds. So instead of drawing anything detailed, I've drawn Mr. Schumann Exo's little frost symbol here, because at least if I decide to change my mind and I don't love him anymore in 3 months,
Oh my god, it's pretty.
it's subtle.
It's subtle.
That's it.
Friendship ended with Schumann.
I have drawn my name with a bunch of glitter emojis and a little crown because I am Princess Kate. And I put 6 little kisses because there's 6 of us.
6 evil X's.
6 evil X's. And I drew a little diamond because I think it's nice. And I also drew a fucked looking bear.
Yeah, I think he's cute.
I think he's cute.
Thank you.
My sketchbook has my name on it in my really shit handwriting. And some sparkles, and there's a little heart above the eye. And there is a classic penguin at the bottom. You guys have seen me draw this penguin on so many things all the time, but I like drawing it in this style because it's the same as in my Waru penguin drawing.
Whoa.
That's my presentation.
And what are we going to do with
Careful
these
putting the
sketchbooks,
table.
you ask? We are going to play some sketchbook games.
Yay!
So I prepared some quick questions for everyone for this first one. I will also participate, though. This is not a winner's game.
Yes, it is.
It is, and I am going to
Rinya's
win.
competitive side is like, this is a game and I am winning.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of competitiveness, every time in gym class when we played dodgeball, it's like a monster, a different
It is
monster
over
came
for
out.
these people.
Luvkii would like lie down because we had to lie down on the stomach at the other end before we could go run the balls. Luvkii one time rolled onto me and grabbed me as the whistle blew, and I was like,
I lay on top of you and I'm like, I'm dead, I can't move. And you're like, get off me!
I'm gonna lose. But yeah, I'm really competitive. So let's go.
Order as well.
All right, so I'm going to give everyone a minute to draw. Actually, no, 30 seconds to draw your answers to these questions. They're simple questions, so don't worry.
Are we drawing or writing?
You can do either. Express however you like.
Okay.
And okay. So the first question is, if you couldn't be an idol. Oh, by the way, no peeking. At anyone else's
okay,
books.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll
if
try
you
not.
couldn't be an idol, what would be your dream job? Starting now.
Oh fuck! I don't have dreams.
I do not dream of
Do you ever
that.
dream that you could dream that you could ever dream that you could dream that you could dream?
All right, you got 10 seconds left.
Oh no!
my gosh.
I don't have enough time.
Okay, hold on. We'll make it a minute. A minute.
I think it's funnier when we have to like struggle.
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, 15 seconds left.
Oh god.
All right, and that's a minute.
Oh,
That was
Let's
stressful.
start down the Pengi end.
Okay. I feel
Oh,
like
wait.
mine's really obvious.
So we're gonna flip all our answers first,
oh.
and then we'll
Explain.
reveal them. So, in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Wow. None of us can see what anyone's drawn,
No
so
one
it's all
else-
still a
it's
mystery
okay.
to us.
Okay, so let's go down the line, starting with Miss Pengi.
Okay, so I drew my little
Oh.
paint palette and paintbrush because if I could not be an idol, I would be spending all of my time drawing and doing art and having my own business. And to be honest, I'll
Whoa.
probably do that anyway. That's it. That's my story.
I don't
would
know
be
if
an
this is
artist.
surprising or not, but I've drawn a picture of me having a big old sing on a stage because I would want to be on Broadway or in musicals.
Whoa.
It's a very
Nice.
big dream, but that's, I think,
You
what
gotta
my
shoot,
dream would
yeah.
be.
Yeah. For me, if I wasn't an idol, I would want to be a florist. And the
Whoa,
reason why I would like to be a florist is because I change my mind on what I like to do every 2 seconds. And my last hyperfixation was Mystic Messenger. And I realized if you like flowers and you're a florist, that's just such a nice job. You just sit amongst the flowers all day and make pretty little arrangements. And I've got my little fucking dog Fergie in here.
Oh.
She's simply vibing, and I'm also simply vibing. I'm saying, oh yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
that's me.
So I've drawn myself as a vet. So this is probably kind of surprising. If I was smart enough, or if I had tried harder, veterinary science was one of the initial things I wanted to do after high school. But unfortunately, this bitch got no brain cells. So yeah, I'm doing something else instead now. But yeah, I like animals. I like working with animals. Well, I haven't worked with animals. I'd like to work with animals. But yeah.
I realized halfway through while everyone was speaking that I completely forgot what I was doing for my degree currently. So what I'm doing working towards my degree now is completely different to what I have written, but I drew many things on here. So there's some animals. They have no faces. I've got some animals because I did also want to be a vet when I was younger. I also have a piece of paper that has writing on it because I also wanted to be a writer. I used to write so much when I was younger, so I really love writing. And I also did music because I also really love music and I wanted to be a performer or an actor or anything when I was younger, but I am very soft-spoken, so I cannot do that actually. But yeah, and I also have ears. I don't know why I drew that. I drew myself with ears and a microphone. I don't know why.
Okay, enough of your persona. I would be a horse. I think I misunderstood what the question was. I would be the horse that Rinya cares for.
Yeah.
What did you
Does it
think
have
the
a horn?
question?
Yeah.
It has a horn. It's a unicorn then. It's not just a horse.
My job would be I would be a horse. And Rinya would look after me at her vet. And I would get her lots of money.
I would give you the sugar cubes. You go mush mush mush, mush mush out of the head.
Go to the microphone.
What did you think the question was?
Oh, I thought it's if you could be anything else but an idol.
Mush mush mush.
I didn't think about the job part of it.
Next I'm surprised that you didn't
was
draw a
really
clown.
funny.
That's what you are.
A clown. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, it
Make it a
runs
clown,
through the
draw a
paper.
clown.
That's why
I should have put down, I didn't draw down all my occupations like you, Miss Alex, or else I would have been drawing like 10 different things.
I've got little rats on here.
Little rats.
So
Right.
rats.
So, our second question is, and you can choose to write or draw this. I will give you 30 seconds to draw it this time. This question is, what is the subject you were best at in school? Not the one you liked the most, the subject you were best at. From now. All right.
Oh no.
30 seconds is up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Flip books over, flip books over.
Oh, like flip it up?
No, flip it down, flip it
Oh,
down.
flip it down. Okay.
I thought we had a minute.
No, I said 30 seconds.
30
this time.
seconds.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
like
right.
drawing.
Do you?
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Alright.
Miss Pengi.
So I actually just wrote C previous here, because the subject that I was best at in school was art. I consistently got A's, including in art history, the art history part of the subject as well. It was also my favorite. So, really, I don't know if I have many other career choices other than artistic ones because it's the only thing I'm good at. Anyway.
So, mine is a half-drawn picture because I was tied best in 3 subjects.
Oh.
I was good at English, I was good at film, and in the middle of drawing film, the time was up, so I drew myself with no hair and a frowny face instead of a normal picture. And then the last one would probably be music.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Music.
Mine is study of religion.
Whoa.
Which I feel like is shocking.
It
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did this because I went to a Catholic school as well. When you were doing OP, you had to do study of religion, like, as a forced subject. And a lot of people really struggled with it, but I found it really interesting because it wasn't just like you were learning about Catholicism, it was like you were learning about all the different world religions and like the reasons why people, follow religions and are religious. And I thought it was very interesting. So even though I fell asleep through every class and the teacher never got me in trouble for it, it was the class I did best in. Study of religion.
Nice. So I have a tie for my two. First one is, it's not very obvious, but it's art. So I actually it's also my favorite subject. I had a lovely, lovely teacher who encouraged my artistic talent. There's a very distinct photo of, I remember doing, because for our final assessment for grade 12, we were able to do kind of whatever we wanted with any kind of medium. So you could paint, you could do sculpture. I chose to do photography, and I remember inviting Luvkii over and being like, hey, put the sheet over your head. And then I took a photo and photoshopped out her legs so she looked like a ghost.
Wow.
And it was really fun. My other subject was maths, mathematics B or C. Yeah, technically I guess I didn't do it as well on art, but it was like still up there. But I really like maths. I think maths is straightforward. There's only ever one correct answer. So if you either get it right or you don't. And I think that's neat. Yeah.
I drew. I've got two. One, nothing. Because, fun fact, I pretty much failed. This is just me roasting myself and how awful I was at school at this point. But when you graduate in Queensland, you get a Queensland Certificate of Education. So when I got my QC, I don't know how I graduated. I graduated on a D on everything, which I don't think I should have graduated in that case.
Yeah, I don't know if that's allowed.
Apparently it is.
Good on ya.
I got, on my certificate of education, I have a D on everything. Yep. But other than that, surprisingly, when we were doing our what's the OP test called? QCS. When we were doing our QCS prep, in English, when we got our results back, I was the one who had the best score out of.
Whoa.
This was only for the practice one, but I got the best score out of my whole entire cohort for English. But my English was generally my better subject, and here's my teacher drew up in the corner because I owe this man my whole entire life. Frickin' I would be crying after every single class, and he'd be like, Aleks, don't cry. And I'd be like, well, thank you, teacher.
It's a good little drawing. You can see a beard and there's some glasses. It's right in the corner of the page.
He was a very hipster man.
Aren't all English teachers?
I would bring my Overwatch posters into class and he would hang them up on the wall.
That's nice of him.
He was a very good man. So if I ever met him again, thank you for dealing with me crying after every single English class and making me right good. That's it.
You can kind of see I wrote English first, but then I changed my answer to modern history. I really love history. It's one of my little things. I'm always listening to a historical podcast, and I love period dramas. And I especially loved learning about World War II and the Berlin Wall and all that kind of stuff.
Question. What differentiates ancient history from modern history?
Modern history was do you want to say it, Lily?
No. I know the answer to this, but I was just you can answer it.
Well, I don't know about for other schools, but at the school we went to, the guideline was modern history had a really specific meaning about within a certain scope and how it affected things. I can't remember it straight off my head. And then ancient history. Honestly, I didn't do ancient history, but every subject they did was Egypt. So it was, and then they said, and the ancient, and it was Egypt. Lolly, do you have a better way of describing it?
No.
Modern just means it has affected our most recent world. It's usually in the last 100 years.
I'm surprised that you changed. Actually, no, modern history was your favorite subject, and you were good at it too. But I'm also surprised you didn't make it a tie with English, because I remember you doing really well with English, and as a gay, you pointed at our English teacher and you're like, that's my emotional support English teacher. You know how every LGBTQ child, when they go through high school, their emotional attachment to their English teacher is incredible. You form a bond with an English teacher.
That was pretty much me with my teacher.
I did have a That's So Raven flashback moment, because I remember my English teacher said to me, you know what, Luvkii, you would like this movie. and it was a gay movie. And I went, oh
Was it
yeah.
the
And then
summer one?
I like
Yeah.
woke up one night with my eyes open. I was like, she knew.
What did I say?
All right, next question. You'll have 30 seconds for this one as well. So just so you're aware.
Understandable.
This one should be fairly easy to answer though. What was your worst subject in school? Starting now. 30 seconds. Wait, that includes me too.
This is a hard question to answer because
You're just good at everything.
Yeah.
no, I mean like when you get to year 12, you only pick the subjects that you want to do. I don't know. That's how it was at Somerville anyway.
Pick, just interpret it however you want. That was quick.
Oh, 30 seconds goes by in the blink of an eye. All right, put your books down, face down.
Yes.
Yes.
None of that.
Anyways, books down. Books down. All right.
Yes, Rinya.
Sorry.
Close that
On
then.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa. What have you got written there, Pengi?
So yeah, so my worst subject was maths. Like I think I mentioned it earlier, I actually didn't do an OP and I stopped doing maths in grade 11 after graduating with it on a C because I was just so bad at it that I was actually dragging the bell curve down. They were like, don't do this subject anymore. Just don't do it. And I was honestly fine with that because it meant that I had 2 free study periods and I also did a traineeship.
Nice.
But no, maths.
I have drawn a picture of me screaming next to a beaker on fire because my worst subject was science and I dropped it as soon as I possibly could. I guess you could, I guess looking at that, my other worst subject was PE, but science made my brain go gulu gulu, so I've drawn science.
Well, for me, Math A specifically, Math A made my brain feel like it was going to melt. I can't do fractions. I can't do algebra. I can't do any of that shit. But we made it through, and the runner-up was chemistry. Other forms of science, I think they were fun. I like them. I like when you're in biology and you get to like pick apart the little fish, dissect it.
see.
I think it's neat.
So you're fucked in the
Science
head.
is fun.
No, I got to dissect a
No,
heart
bio
once
is
and that was
fun.
fun.
I think dissecting is fun. However, chemistry, could never get my head around it. The periodic table, don't remember shit. That's me.
For me, it was a combination of PE and chemistry. As much as I like to play dodgeball, I am actually not very fit. I'm not a very athletic person. So every time swimming came on, I would like, you know when you doggy paddle on the spot but you don't move? So yeah, I would like do really shit at like that. And chemistry was, it was one of those things where I know if I had tried a little harder, I probably could have gotten it better. Like gotten better mark, but I remember we had to learn titration. I don't know if anyone fucking remembers that.
Rings a bell.
TLDR, you measure the molecular weight of stuff using like reactions and things like that.
Yeah.
And I would always fuck it up, and I'll be like, and the teacher that I had in the last years of chemistry, she taught my older sister who went to the same school. So, and my older sister was prime student, you know, model student, very good, nice bookworm kind of nerd. And so she would like kind of hold me to the same standard, and it was very kind of disheartening? Yeah, disheartening, like this unencouraging kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are my 2 subjects that I sucked at.
Keeping up with the A-MUSE theme of we cannot do basic simple math, math was also my very hated and very worst subject. I have drawn myself crying at the desk with many numbers revolving around my brain, because that's pretty much what I do in class. I'd just be like, oh my god, there are so many numbers, I cannot do this. But yes, math. Blech.
Yeah, I'm also on that trend. Like,
like when me and Rinya are like
when we had to do maths, like I started doing like maths B, which was the harder maths, and I did so bad at it that my teacher accused me of doing it on purpose for a joke. And I'm like, bro, it ain't a joke. It ain't no joke.
It ain't no joke.
But when I got the opportunity to move down to maths A, my grades were perfect, got like straight A's, and there was one time that we went to Wet and Wild on a maths excursion, and because Rinya was in the higher maths class, she spent the whole day having to like calculate the trajectory
It was like
of the slide.
sine equations, waves. We had to do like measure cycles and things like that. Whereas you guys, what did you do?
The maths A girls, we drew a picture of the slide and then we went down them. We
I'm
didn't
so
have to do
jealous.
shit.
So when I was in high school, I had a theme park enthusiast phase, which some people know about. It was like, and specifically, my fixation was Dreamworld and Whitewater World. I always saw those school trip things, and I was like, I want to go on one of them. What do I have to do to go on? I'm so jealous.
So having like a mental breakdown in the wave pool,
This
like
equation doesn't make sense.
passing around notes, and I'm like, life is like a hurricane. Do you guys ever play mermaids?
I didn't know that was a thing. Is that just like a private school thing?
No, it's like on the website, and you can apply. Like your school can apply for it.
Ah.
Because
Yeah.
I would always see it on the
My
website
schools
and be
hated
like,
me.
I want to go. Anyway, that's our first sketchbook game concluded.
Yay, that was fun.
Yay! That was fun.
Now, our second sketchbook game is something a little different. Today, we're going to be doing a bit of personal history.
Whoa.
So I'll give everyone like 5 minutes to draw their stuff. So we might take like a brief recess when we crack into it. But basically, how this one is going to work is each member must prepare 5 pictures in their sketchbook to accompany a personal account of their life up until this point. You can show or discuss whatever you like. Those are the only rules. So you can
Do you
draw.
want one per page?
Yes, one
Okay.
per page, please. So we'll give you guys 5 minutes to do that. If you're listening or watching to this podcast, we're going to take a brief recess here to draw those pictures, and then we'll come back and have a look at them and discuss them. So our 5 minutes will begin starting right now.
Now we're
And
back.
it's been 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Like that.
Whoa, how did we get here?
Except
Movie
Alex
magic.
only got to 4 pictures, so
I'm an artist.
So I said she could draw one more. Are you done with your fifth picture?
I could be.
Okay. All right. Now on. Oh wait.
Go.
That's
down.
one
Yeah,
at a
let's just-
time.
yes,
so we
yeah.
have to do one at a
All right.
time.
Let's start with Pengi.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Okay. So for my first picture is me when I was a little kid. I was super, super obsessed with Barbie. So here's a picture of me holding a Barbie doll and wearing my favorite costume, which was a Barbie Swan Lake costume, which I would have worn to school, to bed, in the pool. If you'd let me, I would have just worn it everywhere. I was obsessed. I used to have like a Barbie lampshade and a Barbie bedspread, and basically just everything that I owned was Barbie.
The dream.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
was-
You're like the how little kids love Frozen now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that was me. I was a woman
Except
possessed.
Barbie.
And I also I had a box fringe. Like my hair, I had a box fringe. So my second picture is me doing rhythmic gymnastics. So here's me with a ribbon performing on the floor. I did gymnastics for 5 years, and that was a very important part of my life. I went absolutely hog wild for the Olympics watching the rhythmic this year. I thought it was lots of fun. So this brings me into like high school. When I started high school, I stopped doing gymnastics and turned into a sing kid. So here's me with my hair cut really short. I used to have these checkered arm warmers with zips on them that I would wear, and they were my favorite thing. They were really ugly.
You and me should have been friends in high school.
I know, we would have been best friends. It would have been amazing. But I've also got my Doc Martens and my like all black outfit. When I finished school, I kind of went into, this is the next picture. So here's me with my very similar hairstyles to what I have now and my little glasses. A button up and my stripy, I had these like stripy like Beetlejuice leggings that I used to wear to TAFE all the time when I first started studying. It was like my like feminist turf hair phase
Oh,
of
God.
my
Oh,
life.
yeah. Love
Just
it.
to I
We've all
wasn't a
been there.
turf. I wasn't like that. I just looked like one.
Disclaimer.
And then that brings us, my fifth picture is me now. wearing our uniform and singing on stage with my round glasses and being my Pengi literal self.
Yay!
And no bangs.
That's
And no bangs. I've gotten rid of the straight bangs. There's no more straight bangs.
This has
Anyway.
been such a character development, like all the different phases of Pengi.
Stages.
Honestly, it's kind of like it's come full circle. Like you started off like the pink Barbie girl.
Yeah, no,
and
I've
then
like
it's-
gone.
yeah,
I've
it's
gone.
come
I've done
full
it.
circle.
I've done a full 360 back to where
Yeah.
I was when I was 4.
Yeah, basically. Okay,
Cake time.
I'm nervous. I don't know
It'll be
why.
fun.
It is fun. Okay, so I have drawn a lot of stuff. So this I'll show everyone. Here it is. Here are all my fucked
Whoa.
scribbles. I grew up in Papua New Guinea. I spent the first 9 years of my life there. I lived in a house on top of a hill with a big gate around it, and a guard dog used to stand outside our house every night to make sure we didn't get broken into.
What breed was it?
It was like a Rottweiler, like it was a big...
Baby!
One day I got home from school and it broke off the chain and chased me around the house, and the security guard had to come and grab his dog so that it didn't eat me.
That's not good.
It was scary, but I'm not afraid of dogs for some reason. What then? My two biggest, I guess, like if you're going to describe my life in two ways, is it was very, very sheltered because PNG is very unsafe. And my dad had an IT company. And also we would go out on the boat a lot. So two things that are very reminiscent of my childhood are the smell of a server room specifically, which is really weird. Like every time I walk near a server room, I'm like, ah, yes, childhood, the technology, and also the beach. We spent a lot of time on islands and stuff like that.
Let's go to the beach.
Beach.
Let's go get away.
Hey,
And
say
then-
what they gonna say.
When I was 9, we moved to Australia. And here's a picture of baby Kate surrounded by a whole bunch of hobbies, because all of a sudden there was not a lot to do in PNG that was safe specifically. Like my mum nearly signed me up for horse riding classes, but then there was an incident at the horse riding place and it was not safe and I couldn't do
no.
horse riding anymore.
But
But we moved to Australia and all of a sudden there was so much available to do. I was allowed to ride horses. I was able to sing. I got involved with a bunch of different art things to the point that my mum made me drop hobbies because I had too many. And in her words, I was burning the candle at both ends. That was pretty much my life, even up until high school. I still kept up doing a lot of things, but due to my own personal insecurities and also I had a mean drama teacher, kind of made me feel like I wasn't very good at it. So I did it anyway. It was the kind of thing where it was like, I love art, but I'm not good at it. So who knows, I'm not going to do it for work, but I will do it for fun. Anyway, then I went to uni. And here's a picture of me standing on a stage because I studied drama, knowing I didn't think that I was going to work in drama, but I was like, this sounds like a fun thing to do. I'm going to do it. And around this stage, sort of in year 12, early uni, I got involved with cosplay as well. So I was a big nerd doing my drama and doing my cosplay, and it was just genuinely a really fun time. Oh, I've also drawn myself saying I love Shakespeare
Do you?
because I like Shakespeare.
But do you love him?
You know
No,
who-
but like
You know who else loves Shakespeare?
who?
My
Tom, I'm Tom Hiddleston.
Have you ever seen them those two in the same
I'm
room?
going to kill you.
Tom Hiddleston is Shakespeare.
Anyway.
Anyway, then I graduated uni and I was working at my dad's. What are you laughing at?
There's a picture.
This is fine.
This is fine.
This is fun. Yeah, I'm showing. So here's a picture of me sitting at an office desk. I'd gotten my degree. I was working for my dad's IT company. I was working part-time while I was at uni and full-time. I know it looks sus. I'll explain it in a sec.
Okay, yeah.
I was working full-time, went from part-time work to full-time work at my dad's company. And I was very much of the mindset like, I don't love this admin office job that I'm doing, but it pays the bills and it means that I can do cosplay, which is my main hobby. And also I joined A-MUSE at this point. So also when I started uni, I completely stopped singing and piano except for fun. Like I would sing in my car, but I did not sing anymore. And so this is a picture of a sword. It looks like a cock.
Does
there
it?
it
That's
is.
the strangest looking clock
I
I've
thought
ever
that's
seen.
why you're giving me the eyes.
No, I thought it was like
It looks like a
Antichrist.
knife.
Oh my god, it does look like Antichrist. No, I drew a sword because cosplay and props and stuff like that. I can't draw.
It's kind of drawn like a cross, and you can see like a pointy end where the longer end of the cross
It's
would
a
be.
stick.
Yeah.
A poke and stick. So I'm sitting at a desk saying, this is fine, because I was like, I'll just work and fund my hobbies. It's all good. I don't need to work in the arts. I don't really have a dream. It's just, I'll just live for fun. And also, so yeah, I've got cosplay on this side here, and on the little bottom corner here, I've got A-MUSE, which is basically just a bunch of stick figures boogieing. It also got to a point with A-MUSE where we started singing. We migrated from cosplay-related stuff to like singing and dancing as well. And I was like, cool, I get to sing again. That's awesome. Then COVID hit. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Here's my COVID picture.
Whoa.
I've written, here's a picture of me smiling and going, whoa. And I say, whoa, COVID epiphany. Because COVID, you know, we were all in lockdown and stuff like that, I started streaming on Twitch. We started doing more and more, and being locked inside kind of made me realize, like, actually I hate working in an office and I don't want to do that forever. So it inspired me to pursue creativity as a job, and I get to do that through streaming and through playing with A-MUSE all the time.
Yay.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Very good, Kate.
Was that really 5 pictures?
Yeah.
Damn. There you go.
Lolly
Oh,
time.
okay.
Lolly's turn.
So mine is not really like it's more just random memories that I thought of. So I'm about to tell them all to you now. Here's my first one. So I'm gonna show.
We're kind of looking at the page is split in two with 2 stick figures
Yes.
on both sides.
Okay, so the before is me and my mum, and I'm saying at my mum. And the second picture is me with a childcare worker saying, "I would like some water, please." In the context,
This story.
The
all right.
context behind this is that for the first few years of my life, my mum thought that I couldn't speak. Because every time she would try to speak to me, apparently all I would say was, "Got to go, got to go, got to go, got to go."
For fun? Or
Yeah, for fun, I guess. And so mum was like, oh my god, like I apparently got to like when I was like 4 years old, mum was like, do I need to take her to a speech therapist? Anyway, one day she comes to pick me up from kindergarten, and like as she's walking up to approach me, she notices that I'm just talking to the childcare worker in perfect English. I'm asking her for all these things, and mum's like, Lolly? And I turn around and go, got to go, got to go, got to go. And then mum found out that for some reason I just thought it would be funny to punk her by pretending that I couldn't speak for 4 years of my life.
I've never heard this story.
I want to know. If she hadn't caught you, I want to know how long this could have gone on for.
That's so funny.
So that's my first one. Here's my second one. It's a picture of Kevin Rudd and me. And he's given me a copy of the Rainbow Fish, and I'm saying, fuck you.
I can see in this drawing there's 2 stick figures and a piece of paper, and I love how Lolly has like a fish and a rainbow, but not on the page, floating above the stick
With an
figures.
arrow.
With
tying
an
them
arrow.
together.
So my context behind this, and I mean fuck you very lovingly. When I was in primary school, I could read good. And I won a reading competition. And at the time, Kevin Rudd, before he was the Prime Minister of Australia, he was our local member
MP.
of Parliament. Yeah. And so he would like show up to our schools to give awards and stuff. And when I won this reading award, the prize was a copy of the Rainbow Fish. And so I came on stage and he gave me a copy of the Rainbow Fish. And me, because I was a punk ass little 6-year-old, I was like, fuck you. I'm already reading Lord of the Rings. Who do you think I am giving me the Rainbow Fish?
Don't look down on me.
Because I had too much of an ego back then and probably still do now. Anyway, that's my second picture. Next. This one's very simple. It's 2 people. It's someone asking the other person to go out and the other person laughing in their face. And the short version of this is that I still feel really bad about this to this day. It like haunts me.
Obviously.
It still haunts me. This one kid who was, I guess, like more popular in high school, one time during a study of religion class, he tried to ask me out, and I thought it was a joke because like high school kids can be mean. So he was like, "Hey, you want to go out?" And my first reaction was just to laugh in his face. And he looked really hurt, and I've never stopped thinking about it since.
Oh, you're so mean.
I feel like
bully.
such an asshole because I thought like, haha, he's just messing with me, and now I think like, oh my god, what if he meant it? What if he meant it and he's like, oh god, Lolly's such a bitch. So that's what haunts me. That's my third
That's
one.
called character development.
Moving across.
Yeah. So that's my third one. 4th.
Third.
No, this is my 4th.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, I think it's your third.
That's your third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was
Anyway,
mine. Anyway.
the next one.
This is me. And I'm like sitting here with a little Yeezus t-shirt, and I'm surrounded by all these people talking, and I'm just here saying, Mum, come pick me up. And the context behind this is that when I was 14, for some reason, my mum was like, yeah, she can go to a Kanye West concert all by herself. And I got like the early entry because I really wanted to see him in the front row, which I did. But I felt like such a dweeb because since I was early entry, you would just sit in the line for hours and hours and hours. And all the people around me would be talking like, hey, bro, I saw Kanye like 10 years ago. Like, and I was just sitting here as a little 13-year-old, never been to a concert in her life, being like, Mum, come pick me up. Where am I? Help me. So that was my fourth one. I had a lot of fun at this concert. Shame about how things have developed over the years, though.
That's rough.
And then my last one, which we're taking a big jump here, by which I mean like 7 years. It's what did I draw here? It's me and Yami Cyber.
Whoa!
And we're hugging each other, and she's saying, "Stay in Japan," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I've written RIP Cyber 2020. And the context behind this is that after I fell in love with Miss Yami Cyber, I kept traveling to Japan for cyber events. And the last time I saw them, I got scouted by one of those like TV shows in Japan that's like, what are you doing in Japan? And when they found out I was going to like a cyber thing, they started following me around, and then they were like, hey, you want to stay in Japan longer so we can film stuff? It ended up not going through, but because of it, I got to spend lots of precious time with Yami, which is good because I never got to see her again, and then Cyber disbanded, and I will never be the same person again.
I'm surprised that those are your memories. I thought you would have.
That's the
There are
trouble.
definitely more significant events in your life, I would like
Ollie's
to
a
think.
very interesting person. She has many a thing happen to her.
See, these are just the first ones that cropped up into my head. I'm sure more will come forth
I
as,
liked your
as
first
the
one.
time
I've never heard the first story before.
That's like my favourite Lolly story.
Let's shuffle the camera a bit because to anyone listening to the podcast, one of our cameras died. So while it charges, we're gonna shift one of these little cameras a little bit
Give her a
to
little
get to Miss
shuffle-rooney.
Rinya, just to give us some time. Yes.
Oh.
What
Sorry,
time
my
is it
thing
now?
went for too long.
Not at all.
dying too, so you better hurry up.
Alright,
All right.
I'll start. Alright, on to Rinya. So mine is not as exciting as Lolly's, to be honest. I'm recalling back to when we were talking about like ourselves. I have no concept of self. When people ask, like, you don't take those BuzzFeed quizzes, it's like, are you loyal? Are you funny? Are you the intelligent one of the group? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just there.
Good mood. Yeah.
Mood. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a very interesting person. I haven't led a very interesting life. In terms
Show
of like,
us your drawings, lady. Come
so
on.
this one isn't very chronological, and they kind of represent big chunks of my life. So the first one is me when I did ballet. It's me with my hair in a top knot, and I'm doing a grand jeté, which is a split leap through the air.
Whoa.
That's a big one.
It's French, and
It is a very good drawing.
thank you. And yeah, so dance was a really huge part of my life. I started it back in primary school and did it all the way to high school until my mum made me drop it to pursue academic study.
Did you ever dance on point?
Yes.
Whoa!
I
That's
sucked
so
at it. I was
cool.
awful at it. I had really shitty ankles.
Did
so
it hurt your feet? That's probably a silly question. Water is wet.
yes and no.
Mm.
It depends on if you were doing right. But yeah, on top of ballet, I also did contemporary and I did jazz. Dabbled a bit in hip hop, but it wasn't very girly, so my mum didn't let me do it. But yeah, that's carried through now. I think in my dance captaining, I kind of go dance mum on everyone here in A-MUSE. I'm
And
like,
we love
"Shut up."
it.
yeah. So the next part, this would have been around circa mid high school. I started cosplaying thanks to Miss Luvkii over here. This is me in I would like to say my first cosplay, because my actual first cosplay we never talk about, like in broad
What
daylight.
is it?
It is Noodle from Gorillaz.
Whoa.
From the music video on Melancholy Hill.
I love
It's the
that
one with
song.
like the cat mask and the white and red dress. Miss Luvkii helped me put it together. I was so excited to do it. I remember this very clearly because you were Bilbo Baggins on the day. You looked really cute, I remember. And yeah, it was really fun hanging out with friends. Cosplay became a really, really big part of my life. Dressing up, going to cons, making friends, it's, I wouldn't be the same person without it.
Yeah.
So on to the third one. This one kind of represents, I guess, kind of my whole academic career. So coming from my background, my parents really stressed heavily on kind of study. So I guess as much as I'm reluctant to say it, study and education and grades, they were kind of like made up a big part of my earlier life. I guess even now while I'm still in uni studying, but study kind of thing. And I guess if we're going a bit dark here, gave me some mental issues. That's okay. I'm seeking help for it now.
Mental
But
illness.
aren't we all mentally ill?
Mental illness.
So yeah. Moving on to like the exact same pose. I wanted to make sure that it was like the exact same. If you can, like,
Oh,
flip
it's like a flip book.
flip book. Yeah, I'm not doing it fast enough. I'm sorry. This is me with short hair when I decided to chop it all off in grade 11. This was me finding out Tumblr and the internet in general. So as much as we like to shit on Tumblr, and I agree, it was very much a time, and definitely not a time for like a 14-year-old to be on there in their developing years. I met a lot of friends there, especially Kelly, Honoka, from Love Life days. And if I hadn't met her, I would not be in A-MUSE. So I guess I have to thank Tumblr for that. But this was when I was like finding out video games. I was like making my way onto the internet. Danganronpa was a big one. My Little Pony, Team Fortress 2, those kind of things. I love My Little Pony. Don't use Snicker.
Danganronpa, just like My Little Pony and Danganronpa.
Yeah, the two. Homestuck as well. The trifecta. I should have written Homestuck on here
The
because
Father,
that was a
Son,
really big
the Holy
influencer as
Spirit.
well.
Yeah.
And that was also when I was like, I'm gay. Like, I was like, I'm a fruity. Yeah. Like, yeah. So as much as, like, Tumblr is kind of a hot mess, I did make a lot of friends on there. And without it, I would not be an A-MUSE. And finally, this one's a little bit gay.
Oh.
Us
Which
together.
one's
Me.
I ran out of time to draw the body, so the rest of A-MUSE are disembodied heads. That's Pengi. Sorry, Pengi, I kind of ran out of space.
I'm Harry Potter.
There's Kate. There's Miss Lolly. There's Watashi. There's Aleks. I forgot to draw your plots. And there's Luvkii, as you can probably tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, A-MUSE. So I don't know. A-MUSE has 5 years. Nearly a fifth to a quarter of my life has been dedicated to A-MUSE. So honestly, would not be the same without A-MUSE. I don't know who I would even be. My lack of concept, kind of like a concept of self. Yeah, I don't know. I've just made a lot of good friends, a lot of cherished memories with these girls. These girls plus all our alumni as well. Shout out to them. Love y'all. And they're dead. And yeah. Here's to many more years of just being little shitheads with each other.
It's a bit fucking
Yay,
soft.
I like it.
Yeah, cry then.
Cry harder.
Cry
Let's-
harder.
I want to see the emo Alex book now.
Okay, it's Alex's turn.
You guys aren't ready for this. So for my first one, I have this here. Me sitting on the grass under a tree at my older brother's football games because my mum would always drag me out to watch them on the weekends. Not sure if you guys want to
Whoa.
see. And I have me holding my phone, or my mum's phone, watching horror movie trailers underneath the tree.
How old were you?
Good question. I would be like between the ages of like 6 and I want to say 11.
Alex.
Me and my friends were so obsessed with watching horror movies and like horror movie trailers. So I'd be watching like Hannibal and like the Nightmare on Elm Street trailers, and we'd be like,
Why are you
so
scared
creepy.
of horror stuff now then?
I'm not. I just don't like playing horror games.
Fair.
Because
Anxiety.
They are very intimate.
Yeah.
All right, and my second one.
I love it. It's so good.
I have me. This is specifically between the ages of like 10 to 13. I was very emo. Just like
Was.
A single tear. from my eye.
So describe it to me.
This is me with my bangs growing out over one eye. I had dyed black hair. I'm wearing a beanie.
Did you have the under eyeliner?
No, I did wear makeup then.
Oh.
My mum wouldn't let me wear makeup. I'm wearing my Black Veil Brides t-shirt because when I was that age, Black Veil Brides were my ultimate favorite band. Shout out to Jake Pitts.
Jake Pitts.
Jake Pitts. I've got music notes, and I've got the bands Pierce the Veil, Asking Alexandra, Sleeping with Sirens, and Of Mice and Men because those were also my
Damn.
favorite bands. But yes, I was very emo back in the day. I try not to think about it.
I'd like to see it.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You look like the
Me.
one sloth.
when I say what the fuck, you know what I'm on about.
A part of my brain is just unlocked. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You aren't. Emo solidarity.
This is mine and Pingu's code words. Handshake. Okay, for my third one, it's kind of like the same era of like my emo phase. I was about 12. But here's me on this side, on the right side, on my bed, and then on the other side there's a TV. On that TV there is Gimli and Legolas from Lord of the Rings because I went through a really, really, really big Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to say phase because it's my all-time favorite movie, but specifically Return of the King was like all-time favorite movie. I hadn't slept in 4 days most days, and I would I'm going to say I watched Return of the King at one point every single night for like 4 months straight. Yep, and then on the thing
There's a little creature.
There's my childhood dog Rosie.
Aww.
She would always lay in bed with me when I was very sad and would watch Lord of the Rings and just watch Lord of the Rings with me. So yes, there you guys go.
That's so cute.
Wow.
Who's
Who's your Lord of the Rings Oshi?
Who do you think?
Legolas? You like your twinks.
I like my little boy. He
We
is
like
pretty.
him.
Me at 12 looking at him like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Pretty.
I'm glad it wasn't just me. I think he was like
He's
my
so
first
pretty.
celebrity
I'm just
crush.
gonna do my whole entire, like, when I'm class rep, my whole episodes is gonna be Lord of the Rings.
Aw.
Alright.
Oh, here we go.
Alex laughing at her own pictures.
Here we go.
Okay, this one's very specific. I don't think some of you have seen this photo I'm gonna talk about, but I know Lolly's seen it.
Oh no.
Maybe like a couple of years after, when I was 15, I got into Tom Hiddleston and Luvkii when I was 11. Specifically, but then as I grew older I got more and more obsessed with Marvel and all of that, so I really love Luvkii, if you didn't know. But there's this one specific photo in when For the Dark World came out, and he was doing an interview, and he was like, Tom Hiddleston was like reenacting Natalie Portman in this movie poster holding on to four, like and so he recreated that, and then that went viral on Tumblr, and it would like, you would Photoshop Tom Hiddleston doing that onto different people. I thought I would join and do that as well, and I Photoshopped him holding himself onto me. So I didn't draw this very well, but I have a photo of a stick figure me doing like, I wasn't in the photo, I'm not doing a kissy face, but this is for comedic purposes. So this is me latching onto Tom Hiddleston and Tom Hiddleston latching onto me.
Oh.
In that specific For the Dark World movie poster.
Yes,
like-
I have seen this photo.
I have also seen this
This is
photo.
the most incriminating thing I've heard thus far.
Alex also has a photo that she took of Tom Hiddleston
Filming in Brisbane.
filming in Brisbane, and it's viral on Twitter. And every time it comes up, I'm like, oh my god,
It's my photo.
That's
And on that
Alex's
specific
photo.
day, I skipped school as well, and the news interviewed me and was like, oh, what are you doing here? I was like, my mum doesn't know that I'm here skipping school to meet Tom Hiddleston. Anyways, so that's probably my favorite photo of all time. And then, last but not least, I decided, because I only drew 4 photos, and then when the time went off, I had to quickly draw another one. So I'm combining 2 things kind of together. So there's me now. I'm
Aw.
dancing, I'm singing, I've got love hearts. Do I have 6? 1, 2, 3. I have 6, which is A-MUSE.
Whoa.
So that's where I'm now, and also have I Love You, Nanami Kento from the hit claim
The new
series
hyperfixation.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
The newest man.
Yeah, so I kind of jumped a few years there, but now at the age of 21, I am now in with my friends doing idol stuff and having a lot of fun, and they have changed my life. Thanks, guys. I haven't been here as long as everyone else, but I love you.
Don't
love
forget
you,
you're here
bitch.
forever.
I love you.
Suck that tear back in.
Anyways, that's my life. You guys can roast me now.
Alright.
We
Okay,
already
Love
so
you.
We already
my
do.
life, I'm starting from the very beginning. So it's a drawing of my mum and my dad. And
Is that a UFO?
That's it. I've drawn a car because my mum thought my parents were on holiday at the beach when my mum was like, I'm going into labor. My dad was like, no, you're not. Turns out she was definitely going into labor. So I was nearly born in the parking lot of the hospital because my parents had to race down the Gold Coast Highway to get to the hospital in time while my mum was in labor. So I had a very exciting start to
I
life.
thought that was
Let's
you
go
and
to the
Helen.
beach. Each.
I've been basically like a bit of a tomboy all my life growing up. I played lots of sport. I did soccer and basketball and swimming.
That's
And
what we call
also-
fruit behaviour.
I was in the Australian Girls Choir for a really long time, so that's kind of where I started with my singing. I've drawn a picture of me meeting Rinya.
Aww.
Best friends.
Oh, why does my hair look like the fucking dude from the Lorax? The dude who sells air. What's his
So-
name?
Oh my god. I
Lord
can't
Farquaad.
even- So
Yeah.
me meeting Rinya was kind of like the turning point in my life where like our lives would be completely different because like we fed each other's like excitement about like
Hyperfixations.
cosplay and anime, and like that is what has led me to being the person I am today. And like we were like so close, and she got me into being an A-MUSE in the first place, so I wouldn't even be sitting here without Rinya. So I would say this is like a pretty big turning point in my life.
You can't see me, but I'm doing the pleading face emoji. I'm like,
Oh, a photo from my modelling career. How did that get in?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wait,
that's so embarrassing, guys. Don't look. Don't look.
Did you
Okay,
really
you just ruined
were
the
you
moment.
really a model?
Yes.
Oh.
And
Your titties look so juicy there.
my titties always look juicy. I've drawn a picture of myself with juicy titties. And this is my final photo. So this is me now. I've drawn A-MUSE here and like cosplay, and I like work full time, and I have a beautiful partner, and I just have so much going on in my life. I'm constantly busy and I feel very fulfilled. I'm kind of living the life that I always wanted for myself currently. So living the dream, guys.
So it really went from me
Yay.
holding on to Tom Hiddleston to being like, I love my friend and Rinya. And I'm like,
And then here's a
I
picture
like
of me.
how you spent like one precious page out of the 5 pages to be like, oh, I'm so sexy. I need to uphold my status as the class clown.
No, it was a mistake.
you're so quirky.
It didn't.
You're so quirky.
I know, right?
I believe that you had a modelling career.
She does. I do, Kate.
She does.
Kate.
I'm getting very mixed messages and I'm really upset about it.
Believe what you will.
Next week on Gaslight.
Oh. Yoy. All right. Shall we finish up, Miss Lolly?
And with that, we are towards the end.
Do you want to...
Everyone's like, thank God.
The reason why the teachers never added extra ones because us little shitheads would immediately go just go like the rude sandstorm as fast as we can.
I think that like you're very much getting a look into what we were like at school. Like I started the clap early and then instantly was like straight away.
And with that, we're basically at the end of, I say basically, we are at the end of our first episode of A-MUSE Academy, which is both like a moment and also like a yeah moment, because
That
we've
was
been sitting
fun.
here for like 10 years.
We
Yeah,
live
it was
here.
fun.
Well, that's fun.
I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys also enjoyed listening to it, and you enjoyed the coming episodes that will also appear, hopefully once a month, but God knows what we'll end up doing.
Thankfully, we're so busy.
Always.
If you have
Doesn't
any comments, feedback, suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. We love to read them, and hopefully we might take something on. Like, I don't know, we'll feature Fergie next time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
pop it right here.
Animals.
Everyone bring your animals for
pets
show
to
and
school
tell.
day.
Yeah, in the future episodes as well, we will be doing a question corner. Those questions will be submitted by our patrons. So if you are a patron and watching right now, we will be putting up a link, probably just like a Google form.
Yeah,
something-
to be honest,
some
we
shit
have
like
not
that.
worked out the details of this. This was a plan.
Classic A-MUSE.
Yeah, classic
A-MUSE.
A-MUSE. But if you're a patron, leave some questions and we'll answer them in future
We'll answer them.
episodes.
We will.
Additionally, oh my god, what are these?
Whoa.
Give me one.
What are
Lolly
these?
is currently holding up our A-MUSE Academy patches.
Which we are wearing on our uniforms.
Oh.
And also, if you're a patron, starting from, I believe, August or September, I don't even know what month it is now. It's almost the end of August.
Good question.
It will be
Yeah,
September
this
when
month.
this is released. There will be patch badges for those of you on Patreon. However, if you are not a patron and would like a nice little sew-on patch of our A-MUSE Academy emblem, we will be doing a giveaway for these.
Whoa.
To be honest, we also haven't worked out the details of this yet.
Do we
Stay
ever?
tuned.
Stay
Stay tuned. We're giving them away. fresh for the taking.
Fresh for the taking.
And with
Extra,
that,
if you submit some extra entries, you might get the one that Alex just about shoved up.
Yes.
you have COVID now.
Oh.
Congratulations.
on that note,
Congratulations.
I hope everyone, especially those in Sydney, in Melbourne, whoever else in the world may be under COVID restrictions or lockdown, I hope you are staying safe. I hope this podcast brightened your day. Maybe you listened to it while you cleaned your house.
Also, by the time this podcast comes out, Revolt.
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 Yeah.
Quick.
I decided to wear it today because I was like, you know what, may as well.
Rinya shoved her foot into my face.
You love it.
Yes,
You
the
wish
day,
this was you.
the day we're recording this is actually the day that we're dropping the songs. So
Yeah.
we're
It's
very
a
excited.
secret right now.
For anyone listening to the podcast, yes, Rinya just shoved her foot into Alex's face, and she is wearing some of the merchandise designed by our
not
lovely
good.
Pengi.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sockies.
But yeah, if you follow our work, you may now see that our next single, Revolt Revive, is finally out. I think it's a bloody slapper, to be honest.
It's alright.
I think it's a
I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
It's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
very long process and we've worked very hard on it. Tireless hours of both producing and writing and choreographing. All of our songs are such a collaborative effort. We should all give ourselves a little clap, a little pat on the back.
You can't see me, I'm patting Alex's back
We are all
really
patting
hard.
each other's backs.
Whoa. I'm gonna
Well done, A-MUSE.
Yeah, so wherever you are, please stay safe, and we hope we can all see you again shortly.
Yes.
And stream Revolt Revive.
Stream Revolt
Do
Revive!
it.
Five.
Do it.
Please pay our bills. We're hungry.
A-MUSE, blasting off. Arigatou gozaimashita. What is it?
Hold on. Here.
Alright,
I got you.
Lolly's
Yeah.
exit.
Can you go, A-MUSE, blasting off. Arigatou gozaimashita. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I got it. Keep going.
We are listening.
I'm hyping up the listeners.
Oh, I'm feeling hyped.
Let's get a clean take, so shh.
Sena. And that was A-MUSE blasting off. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigatou gozaimashita.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye.
And that's fucking it. Yeah. All right. Good hustle, boys.